The assessor must familiarize self with the qualification or unit of competency to be assessed. Ensure that the assessment site complies with the relevant occupational health safety requirements. Ensure that assessment resources are available. The assessor must ensure that the tools, equipment, and facilities are ready and available in the assessment site before the assessment starts. A checklist of tools, equipment, and facilities must be on hand to help the assessor monitor the availability and completeness of the tools, equipment, and facilities. The checklist of tools, equipment, and facilities is included in the assessor's guide. Thank you, ma'am. So good day, everyone. So may I request everyone to stand for a short prayer. In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen. Okay, you may now take your seat. My name is Cricel Duran, and I am an accredited competency assessor for food and beverage services in C2. As proof of my accreditation, I have here my ID, which identifies as a competent assessor for this qualification. I have received the assessment package, which consists of assessor's guide, competency assessor script, candidate's guide, and rating sheet. So I would like to acknowledge the presence of Ms. Chami Yaklaw, that is the representative, Ms. Gwyneth Serman, our AC manager, and Ms. Kiana M. Dayola, our processing officer. You do not need to worry about their presence. They're only here to observe and make sure that the assessment is done properly. I will be the one to assess and grade your performance. They will not assist you, so please do not be afraid. Before we start, can please submit your admission slip and ID and sign the attendance sheet once I call your name. Ms. Sandra Ibrahim, Ms. Tricia C. Ondoy, I have your completed application form and self-assessment guide. This shows that you understand and can perform the required competency for this qualification. Welcome to our assessment center, the Southern Leyte State University Sugod Campus. The purpose of this assessment is to determine your level of competency. You may be able to perform a task at a basic level, but to be considered competent, you must perform it according to the required standard. Today, I will be administering the competency assessment for food and beverage services in C2. This qualification includes basic, common, and core competencies. For core competencies, you are expected to demonstrate the following unit of competency. The first is prepare the dining room or restaurant area for service, welcome the guests, and take food and beverage orders, then promote food and beverage products, provide food and beverage services to guests, provide room service, and receive and handle guest concern. Please note that the core units of competency can be found in your self-assessment guide, reading sheet, and assessor's guide. So the expected tasks to perform in food and beverage services NC2 are welcome and greet guests, sit the guests, take food and beverage orders, and liaise between kitchen and service areas. So the evidence will be collected using demonstration, observation with oral questioning, and written test. For your personal needs, the comfort rooms are located on both the second floor and ground floor of the Southern Leyte State University Sugod campus. If you would like to have your lunch, the canteen is located at the ground floor of Southern Leyte State University Sugod campus cafeteria. But But if you brought your own food, you are free to eat here in our assessment area. If at any point you find it difficult to read or understand the instructions, don't hesitate to approach me so I can explain to you more clearly. And if you are more comfortable, I can also translate the instructions into your local dialect. The do and don'ts for this assessment. Once the assessment has started, you cannot go out unless you have a valid reason and approval from me, as I am the assessor. And as the assessment has already started, you are not allowed to ask questions since I have given you enough time for that already. Next is the right and appeal system. If you have complained regarding to the outcome of the assessment, you have the right to appeal. Your appeal should be in a written form and must be submitted to the TESTA provincial office by which assessor and assessment center are accredited. Then, the issuance of national certificate. For the issuance of your national certificate or certificate of competency, you will be notified through your active Gmail account once your certificate is available. Please note that you will only receive the notification if you are found competent in the qualification you have been assessed for. To access your certificate online, you will need to log in using your account. Your password is the first letter of your name combined with your birthday. After downloading your certificate, please bring it to the TESDA provincial office for sealing and authentication. Kindly bring a copy of your certificate and a competency assessment results summary. For reassessment procedure, if you are found to be not yet competent, do not worry. You can be reassessed anytime for your convenience. In case the assessment is full qualification, you will undergo the whole assessment process. However, if you are found competent in some unit of competency, you will only undergo. If you fail 2 consecutive assessments, you will be taking the refresher course. Then, the occupational health and safety requirements. So please observe proper handling of tools, identify hazard and risk, evaluate hazard and risk, control hazard and risk, and monitor the occupational health safety awareness. In case of accidents, the first aid cabinet is placed beside the door. So, the confidentiality of this assessment outcome. We observe strict confidentiality on the report and result of the assessment. The result will only be handed to the concerned personnel and to the institution where you conducted your assessment. The assessment package will be placed in a secured and safe area. Do not share any clue or information regarding the assessment to everyone. So, do you have any questions? If you have no questions, I will now introduce to you the instruction for the candidates. So, candidate number 1 will be Sandra Abraham. You will be the first to enter the assessment room. Then, the candidate number 2 will be Trisha Ansi Umboy. You will be waiting on the waiting area. So, that would be all. Please follow me. Candidate number 1. Welcome to the assessment area. Now, I have here the instruction that you have to follow in doing this assessment. Please read this so that you can use it as a guide while doing the performance during the assessment process. So, number 1 is using the materials, tools, and equipment. You are required to perform all the tasks in this qualification within 9 hours. I will be the one observing you while you are performing the task. Number 2, after your demonstration, I will ask you some questions related to your assessment. Then number 3, after your oral questioning, I will give you my feedback about your performance. And number 4, always observe safety precautions all the time. So is there any clarifications or questions? So if there are no more questions, you may now start.
Conduct assessment in accordance with the methodologies specified in the evidence plan and the specific instructions for the competency assessor. Implement the evidence gathering process and ensure its validity, reliability, fairness, and flexibility. Observe the candidate and keep notes on the candidate's performance during the entire conduct of assessment. These notes will be used for the provision of feedback to the candidate's performance during the assessment. Collect appropriate evidence and match compatibility to the elements, performance criteria, range of variables, and evidence guide in the relevant units of competency.
So candidate number 2, please follow me. So welcome to our assessment center. Now, I have here the instruction that you need to follow in doing the assessment. So please read this so that you can use it as a guide while doing the performance or the assessment process. So number 1, using the tools, materials, and equipment, you are required to perform all the tasks in this qualification within 9 hours. I will be observing you while you are performing the task. So number 2, after your demonstration, I will ask you some questions related to your assessment. Number 3, after your oral questioning, I will give you my feedback about your performance. And lastly, always observe safety precautions all the time. So is there any clarifications or questions?
None so far, ma'am.
Okay, if there are no more questions, you may now start.
Judge the evidence in terms of the dimensions of competency, task skills, task management skills, contingency management skills, and job or role environment skills. Judge the evidence in terms of validity, consistency, currency, recency, authenticity, and sufficiency. After the demonstration, the candidate will be asked a series of questions based on her performance on welcoming the guest, take beverage and food orders for the oral questioning. The candidates will also undergo a written examination.
So good day, Miss Sandra Raquel. First of all, congratulations on completing the assessment. So Miss Sandra Raquel, how did you feel about the assessment?
I'm feeling nervous now.
Okay, now here's your feedback. I can see that you were well prepared in taking this assessment, and I observe that you were able to perform all the tasks properly, confidently, and professionally. These tasks include welcome and greet guests, sit the guests, take food and beverage orders, and liaise between kitchen and service areas. I also observed that you demonstrated good communication skills, proper grooming, teamwork, and attentiveness to the guest needs throughout the assessment. This shows that you have the knowledge, skills, and attitude required in food and beverage services in seafood. Overall, your performance indicates that you are competent in this qualification. So I have here the rating sheet and the cards. So kindly sign here. So to get your national certificate, you can get from the assessment center by accomplishing authorization letter, submit a photocopy with a valid specimen, signature, and pay a certificate fee of 50 pesos. So once again, congratulations, Ms. Sandra. Mr. Shaanongboy, congratulations on finishing the assessment. How did you feel about the assessment, Ms. Amboy?
It's a little bit tiring ma'am, and at the same time hard, but it was fun.
Okay, now I would like to give you my feedback. I observed that you were able to perform all the required tasks in food and beverage services in situ. This class include welcome and greet guests, set the guests, take food and beverage orders, and liaise with the kitchen and service area. However, I also observed that you were not really confident and consistent while doing the performance. Also, there are also some procedure or service standard that were not fully demonstrated according to the qualification requirements. Because of this, I'm sorry to inform you that you will not fully meet the standard requirements of this qualification at this time. So, Ms. Omboy, I encourage you to continue reviewing and practicing the competency in food and beverage services institute to further improve your skills, confidence, communication, and service techniques. You may come back for your assessment once you feel ready and confident that you already acquired the required competency in this qualification. Don't you worry, you can be reassessed on a specific unit where you were found not yet competent. So, Ms. Omboy, I have here the rating sheet and the cards. So, kindly sign this. So, once again, congratulations, Ms. Omboy.
The assessor shall record the assessment outcome, accomplish the competency assessment result summary, submit the assessment reports to the AC manager. The assessment center manager will give the documents to the processing officer to accomplish the registry of workers assessed and certified. The processing officer will ask the assessor and assessment center manager to sign before passing it in together with the other documents to test the representative.